This episode of Southeast Iowa Today is brought to you by Griner Auto Body of Washington, Iowa. Using state-of-the-art techniques and decades of experience to get your car back on the road after an accident. Car Doctor of Washington, Iowa. No matter who Frankensteined it, they can fix it, clean it, and customize it. McDonald Boneyard of Keota, Iowa. For all your farm equipment and auto recycling needs. For great food, it's your choice. Your Choice Family Restaurant of Wayland, Iowa. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Come to our cruise-ins this summer on the second Tuesday of the month, June through September. Girling Repair of Winfield, Iowa. If your mower is dead, call Fred, your Husqvarna, Aaron's, and Gravely dealer. Fred also fixes and sells snowblowers. B&B Propane and the family of jet stops. CW Tree Trimming, LLC. We're into your trees, not your wallet. Serving all of Henry County and the surrounding area. We offer a senior citizen and veteran discount. Dutch Market and Coffee Talk of Washington, Iowa. Dutch Market can handle all of your grocery needs, and they even have a conference room that you can use for free. Coffee Talk's drive-thru is open and ready to serve you coffee, energy drinks, sandwiches, baked goods, and ice cream. They all present you the award-winning Southeast Iowa Today. Here's the author of Christie's Journey, The Beat Goes On, and your host, John Bain.
Thank you, announcer Cody Roy of NewEnglandDukes.com for your golden pipes and wonderful introduction. Look behind me and all the way down that way. I am in Fort Madison, Iowa. It is Thursday, September 25th, 2025, and these vehicles behind me are all part of the Red Flag Horseless Carriage tour that takes place each year around this time of year, right here in Southeast Iowa, and you're going to learn more about it, so stay tuned. Look at all of these fine vintage automobiles rolling into the riverfront in Fort Madison, Iowa. Aren't they a sight to behold? I wish you were here with me right now to hear the engines and to smell the gasoline and the oil burning. It's just a wonderful, wonderful experience. Mark, welcome back to the podcast.
Thanks, John. Nice to be here.
It is nice to be here, and here is Fort Madison, Iowa. and it's Red Flag Horseless Carriage Tour time again in Southeast Iowa.
Always the last weekend, a full weekend in September, and we've got a great bunch of cars again this year.
You do, and they're right over there. I showed them coming in earlier, and the thing is, last year I had to borrow a jacket from a nice lady because I showed up in like light shirt and shorts, and I was freezing. I was riding, and she was so nice to give me a jacket.
Yeah.
We don't need that today.
No, beautiful weather. Hopefully, knock on wood, beautiful weather for the rest of the weekend, and some great tours lined up. And it was a little chilly leaving Mount Pleasant this morning, but it's warmed up nice and now.
Yeah,
so
it was kind of like in the low 50s.
Yeah.
Now we're in the low 70s.
Yeah, perfect.
It is perfect. Now, here in Fort Madison, this is Thursday, September 25th, 2025, and the whole thing, this whole Red Flag Horseless Carriage Tour, correct me when I get wrong on this stuff, but it's to commemorate Brighton, England to London, England, when they did, or vice versa.
Yeah, vice versa. So
we've got New London, Iowa, and Brighton, Iowa.
So the story is that prior to 1896, in England, the law was that light locomotives, which is what they called cars back then, light locomotives were required to go only 4 miles an hour, and they were required to have a man with a red flag waving in front of them to indicate that there was a motorized vehicle on the way. Mostly because the noise of the engines just scared horses, and it caused all kinds of havoc. Also, people didn't know how to drive them. They went wide open or they shut her down. They didn't steer well. They didn't have good brakes back then. And so they were dangerous. And so that was why the law was set up. Well, as advancements in automobile came along, they revoked the rule. They repealed the rule for the red flag in 1896, and they raised the speed limit from 4 to 14 and abolished the red flag walker in front. So in 1896, to celebrate the abolition of the red flag, they started doing a car tour from London, England to Brighton, England. And we just happened to be fortunate enough here in Iowa, in our part of Southeast Iowa, where we have a new London that is close enough to a Brighton to recreate the tour. And so that's how it all came together.
We sure do. And it's awesome. How many years now have you been doing this?
So the board members have been meeting for a total of 17 years. Okay. We actually had meetings for 2 years before we even had our first tour. And so we've been going for 15 years now.
That's awesome. 15th year. Wow. It's just, last year I got to ride in a couple cars. That was just such a great experience. And I'm saying this because someone is watching this for the first time. They might not have seen the episodes from last year, but go back to September of last year if you're watching on YouTube or Spotify, and you'll see this in the library, and you'll see me interviewing Mark back then too. But just, it's fun. I knew you guys were going to be here today, and I'm like, I had to be over in Mount Pleasant earlier this morning, and I'm like, I'm getting to Fort Madison so I can catch up with you all.
We have a great tour lined up for him today. We left Mount Pleasant this morning. We had a little stop in West Point for some coffee and donuts and a little potty break. And of course, West Point is full of wonderful history and very gracious to invite us there. And then we left West Point, came on down to Fort Madison to the Turnwater for lunch. Our drivers and their guests were very, very impressed with the meal and the situation right on the riverfront. It's just gorgeous.
It is.
Stopped here at the Historical Museum Society, and then we're going to be heading out from here to go to Harvestville Farms, which is a pumpkin patch, corn maze, a whole bunch of that kind of stuff, and give them a chance to kind of take a look around there. And then we'll be making our way back to Mount Pleasant for tonight. Tomorrow, awesome. A very big trip. We'll be going from Mount Pleasant over to Fairfield. I learned some interesting facts for this tour. There are something like 2,700 Carnegie museums around the world. 1,100 and some are here in the United States, but the very first one of all was in Fairfield. So tomorrow we're going to be taking them over to Fairfield, letting them check that out. We're going to have a nice lunch over there.
And that is a great museum. Jake Schmidt, he's the curator there. He is an awesome I call him young man because he's younger than me. But anyway, everybody seems to be young man now. But a great place. I did 4 podcast episodes last October from there.
Oh, wow.
And there is just so much to see in this building.
Yeah, I think they'll be really impressed with it.
I mean, there's stuff from the Smithsonian, I think,
Wow.
before it was the Smithsonian.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible.
That's
pretty
the kind
incredible.
of history that these folks love.
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
these
that's
drivers,
great. Now, speaking of these folks, these drivers and their passengers or their co-pilots, they're from all over the country?
I was told that we are represented by 9 different states on this year's tour, which is great. It's wonderful to see all of them together, and you know, coming to take a tour like this through Southeast Iowa gives them an opportunity to see some of the things that they might not see where they're from. And that was the other point of the whole tour, not only to embrace the idea of lifelong automobilism, but also the fact that, you know, we have some gems here in Southeast Iowa that a lot of people don't know of.
We sure do.
The history of the city of Fort Madison, the history of West Point, the history of Fairfield and the Carnegie Museum. And so there's a lot of things down around here that many people don't see from where they're from. So we wanted to bring them here and show them off.
Well, I hope to say hello to a few of those folks today, and welcome to Southeast Iowa.
Thank you very much.
Right.
Thank you, John.
Mark, thanks for being on.
You have a great day.
You too. Dale, welcome to the podcast.
Well, what do you think?
I think this is incredible. And this is a Star?
A Star, a 1925 Star, and William Durant, which was a multi-millionaire at the turn of the century, but he died penniless later on.
Wow.
But he had president of Buick. He was up and down. He started a Durant Motor Company, which made Whippet, Durant Motors, and the Star.
I say I've heard of Whippet.
Yeah, Whippet was one of his vehicles.
Okay.
And he tried to compete with General Motors and everybody and Ford with the Model T, but he had much superior car over the Model T. I mean, this would had a regular transmission, a Continental, Red Seal Continental engine, which tons of the car companies use that Red Seal Continental engine.
So when you say it was far superior automobile, does that mean the price was a lot higher?
No. They tried to compete with the Model T and the Model A and the Fords and the Chevys, but they were just a better vehicle. They had a lot more going for them.
I see.
That people didn't recognize at the time. You know, everybody liked the Model T because it was so much easier to drive, like a horse and buggy. You'd release the brake and push a pedal and you could go. Where these, you had a throttle you had to work with, and a clutch and a brake and a transmission lever that you had to put it in different gears.
And I'm assuming the accelerator is up by the steering wheel.
It's on both on these. They were
both?
trying to generate interest for people to get used to using your foot.
Oh.
The Model T, well, remember when you went from a buggy, all you did release the lever,
right,
and it would go forward. And a Model T is basically that way if you got your throttle set. You don't need to use your foot to take it up or down. You leave the lever ahead on level ground, and that'll take off just like a buggy.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and if you pull the lever halfway back, you just got one pedal just to push down to go backwards.
I'll be darned.
So
can you show us around this car?
Well, I'll just show you a quick thing of the Continental.
And that's a blue, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a blue with black fenders, but here's your Continental engine. Very simple. They use the same engine in many automobiles.
And it's a 4-cylinder.
4-cylinder, and they actually put the emblems on for like international use the Continental engine.
Oh, really?
People didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I've worked with both, and a lot of the other car manufacturers would put their emblem on the engine, but Continental Red Seal built engines for everybody.
Wow.
And you can see it has the suicide doors in this model.
Oh, yeah.
Which is comfortable. The seat's 4 ahead. This is a 2-door.
Okay.
Which wasn't as popular as a 4-door for families.
Oh, yeah.
But
had
electric lights.
Real wood steering wheel.
Wooden steel, yep. Wooden brakes, outside band brakes, easy to work on.
Oh, wow. And you got a couple gauges even.
Oh, yes, yeah.
An odometer and speedometer.
Yep.
Nice.
And it had a dome light. Which remember, in 1925, most people didn't have electricity in their house.
Yeah.
But you could come out at night, turn the dome light on, and read a book.
You'd be pretty fancy in your Star.
You would be, yep.
And you got wooden spoked wheels.
Yes. You have, there's accessories. There's ways you could put other wheels on. If you wanted to order the accessories.
Okay.
But they were just a great car. I mean, dependable car. and a price affordable car for the
So what would in 1925 money, what would you be spending?
Well, you're going to catch me on that. I'd have to make sure I'm right, but not comparable to a Model T, which is probably around between $250 and $300 at the most.
Okay.
On the lower end of that,
Right.
probably.
Wow.
But
that is
people
incredible.
liked them, but he went from company to company, and it didn't last long. Of course, he got gobbled up by the bigger companies. But at one time, he was president of Buick, and
Wow.
his biggest downfall was for his stockholders. He bought too many companies and tried to merge it with General Motors, and the bankers and the stockholders said, "Whoa,
You're getting trying to get big too
we're getting
fast.
too big."
Yeah.
So I think Chrysler, and I can be wrong on this, but I think Chrysler moved in after he left, and then he got it straightened out pretty good.
I'll be darned.
So
Well, this is incredible.
that's a history of the automobile, pretty much, for the Star.
Well, Dale, this is wonderful. I
Yep.
appreciate it. I'm looking at the timer on my camera, and we're at 4 minutes and 34 seconds of podcast excellence.
Well, is that good?
That is really good.
That's
So,
good.
Thank you for being on today.
Man, if you're in the Iowa City area, stop at the Antique Car Museum of Iowa.
You know, I've been there before, and I need to get together with you. Maybe we'll do a podcast from there.
Yeah, it's a
someday.
great place to come. We have a lot of history in there.
And that's just right off I-80 there.
Right off Interstate 80 and the Coralville exit.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Yes, thank you.
So I'm just going to walk around here and show you folks. And I'm going to try and sound like an expert, because right there we're looking at a Ford, and it's early 1900s. I don't know the exact age, but I'm not doing a very good job sounding like an expert. But look at this horn. Look at the brass on here with the lanterns on the front. And then look at this long hose that goes to that horn. And then right next to it, this is a Buick. Just incredible. And you know, Buicks have always were known for more of the luxurious type of vehicle. And this holds true. They've got fancy plush leather seats, and you can see that you were probably doing pretty good. And I can see from this license plate, this Michigan plate, 1913. So I'm thinking it's pretty safe to say that's a 1913 Buick. Man, look at this one. You can stand there and shave with this. It's so reflective. Beautiful. And that is, I think that says, well, it says automobiles. Is it Peugeot or Peugeot? Someone will put it in the comments, let me know, but it definitely says Paris there. There's the Star that we talked about earlier. There's another Ford. Just amazing what the automobile has evolved to today. And there are some cars today that are made that I would rather be in some of these. That's for sure. Just strikingly beautiful, this Buick. Look at that white with the red pinstripe, and it's even got it down on the springs, this pinstriping. Huge brass lantern lights. Just gorgeous. I think it's safe to say that's a 1926 Model T pickup. Like I said before, folks, just gorgeous cars. And you know, any chance I get to be around cars and car people, I take it. Look at that Rolls Royce. Holy cow. It's like a city block long, and just the hood alone is a city block long. It's incredible. But I just really enjoy automobiles, automobilia, and the folks that like that too, that have the same disease that I have. Here's a Maxwell. If you missed this year's Red Flag Horseless Carriage Tour, you need to get on their Facebook page and become a follower. I'm posting the picture of their Facebook page right now on the screen. So next year, you don't miss out on seeing these vehicles in person, because it is a sight to behold. And it's more than a sight to behold. When they were rolling in, you could smell the exhaust, the gas, the oil. It's what makes you American. It makes you a man when you smell that. It's just great. They sound good. So I've got video of that for you that you've seen, and I've interspersed within here. And you need to come.
No catalytic converter.
No, and no catalytic converter. All right. Where are you from, Bill?
Bennett, Iowa.
Bennett, Iowa. Well, hey, you're on Southeast Iowa today with John Bain now on the podcast. So thank you for being on. And this yours, right here. It has to be yours. You're sitting on it.
Yeah.
What do we got here?
26 Ford
19.
Model T pickup.
That is really something.
This is the first Ford production pickup.
The first Ford production pickup?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm putting my microphone. I'm going to share it between you and me. So tell me a little more about it.
Well, before, people would take the body apart and make their own box.
Really? Okay.
In 25, they offered a box or a trunk.
Okay.
In 26, they produced a whole pickup.
Now, I have a friend named Larry Google. He owns a 1924 Model T pickup. So based on the information you told me, it didn't really come from the factory that way. They had to modify it, right?
Yeah. Yes. They usually tore a coupe apart and put a pickup box on the back.
Okay, very interesting. Now he let me drive it one time, and he was teaching me as we were going, and you almost have to be a contortionist. Would you agree with that?
Well, I started driving these things when I was 12.
Oh, well,
so,
you just came upon it naturally then.
Yeah, so I can drive the Model T pretty successfully.
Well,
but it's a matter of timing, and you gotta work the levers and the pedals and set the timing
and worry about everybody and everything else around you at the same time.
Oh, sure. This is driving.
Yes.
Getting in a car nowadays and turning on the switch or pushing the button and starting it up, that's not driving.
No.
And that allows people to get on their cell phones and text and
all the stuff they shouldn't, all the things they shouldn't be doing. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
To go with one of these things, you have to drive.
That is so true. And last year, I happened to go on a couple rides in a couple of these cars. Not necessarily. I think I was in the Maxwell and I was in a Buick, and yeah, those gents were driving. Well, hey, thank you for your time. Thank you for. I'm just so pleased to be able to see your truck in person and to share it on my podcast.
Yeah. You want to see the engine?
Yeah. If you want to show the engine, that'd be great. Now, I do have to warn you, and it bothers the heck out of my wife. Whenever I look under the hood of a car and I'm doing a podcast, I usually grunt at the engine. I can't help myself. Look at that. That's 4 cylinders of Ford Motor Company from 1926, right?
Yep.
Well, tell us what I see spark plugs, obviously, and I see 4 of them, and that's why I knew it was a 4-cylinder. Tell us about the box right there that those are hooked to.
This is the coil box. There's a coil that amplifies the spark for each cylinder. The commutator down here tells which cylinder to fire.
Okay.
Once it tells the coil to go off, then the spark goes down to the engine. This is the carburetor that feeds the gas, vaporizes it.
And so that looks like it's basically a one barrel.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
One jet.
One jet, yeah.
That's the generator. And of course the radiator, fan.
And you know, when you think about it with the generator and such, that's pretty advanced technology in 1926 in a lot of ways.
Well, if you find a 1909 here, it also had a generator
Did it? Okay.
in it of sorts. But many of the old ones used a telephone battery
Really?
to start and fire the coils, and then there's a magneto in here, and the start is 6 volts.
Okay.
The magneto will go up to, I believe it's 30 to 36 volts, and it really heats up the spark for the cylinders.
I'll be darned.
Yeah, it's 4-cylinder, 20 horsepower.
20 horsepower.
Yeah.
What's top speed?
Well, I like to drive at about 35, but it probably will go 45 to 50, but I don't like to.
Then it gets a little white knuckle at that point.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Bill Barglof of Bennett, Iowa, thank you for the tour of your fine truck.
Oh, you're welcome.
I love doing my podcast. It's for days like this. Wasn't that fun? Weren't those neat cars? Great folks that I talked to. Thank you for watching. Thank you to everybody that was on the podcast today. And thanks to my sponsors, Griner Auto Body, Car Doctor, McDonald Boneyard, Your Choice Family Restaurant, Girling Repair, B&B Propane, and the family of Jet Stops, CW Tree Trimming, LLC, Dutch Market, and Coffee Talk. I'm your host, John Bain. Stay friendly, Southeast Iowa.